Grand Rising, loved ones. Welcome back to another episode of Healing Wisdom with me, your favorite and sexiest spiritual advisor, Empress Oracle. So, we are still in the Survivor series because, as I told you, I have had 7 incidences of sexual assault in my adult life. And we talking about them. We getting it all out. So, today, we are going to talk about my 5th sexual assault. Okay? So this one right here was pretty fucked up too. I'm not even gonna front. This shit was pretty fucked up. So I got married when I was like 21. Didn't last long. Okay? I think I just got married just to see if I could do it, honestly. I pretty much was, that's neither here nor there, that's a whole other story. But basically, I was married to a guy who got me at a good time because I was freshly brokenhearted, and then that marriage did not work out. But while we were together, we were living in Lithonia, in Georgia, in a duplex, and he made friends or acquaintances with some people who I really didn't like that much or whatever. So one guy he became friends with, who I knew of him because, excuse me, he also knew like my cousins and whoever the hell, like he knew some people in my family or whatever. And however, him and my ex-husband ended up being cool, whatever. And I remember when we were staying over there, when he used to come by, I always used to tell my husband at the time, like, it's just, I don't want him in the house. I don't want him in the house. It was just something, I just did not want him in my house. So he was like, okay, cool. So the guy would come around or whatever, and me, when I get vibes from you, I'm not really gonna fuck with you. But see, I had to learn through a lot of these traumatic experiences to trust my intuition more, and like, okay, you're feeling this way for a reason. And a lot of these hard ass lessons I had to learn through sexual assault because I was not listening to my intuition. Okay? And that's why I tell you guys, when you have these feelings and stuff, don't be like, nah, I'm crazy, I'm tripping. Listen to that shit. It can save you from sexual assault or death. Right? So anywho, my ex-husband and I, we split up, and I still was living over where we had lived in Lithonia. And everything was okay. I was I was still, recovering because at the end of my marriage, the stress and everything from my relationship, like I lost everything with my ex-husband. He took everything from me. And in the end, I ended up suffering a nervous breakdown. So I was in the process of kind of getting myself back together from my recovering from a nervous breakdown. Like I legitimately went to the doctor and they was like, yeah, you had a nervous breakdown. Okay. So I was, getting myself back together to the best of my ability, and trying to pick up the pieces. And so I still lived around that area, and the guy would still come around the area and stuff, because in that area it was just like duplexes and stuff, so it wasn't just me over there and stuff. There was a lot of people, whatever the fuck, blah, 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 unimportant. So I would go walking around the area where I lived. I still like to go walking out in nature and stuff, but I used to go walking and stuff to kind of, clear my mind, get myself together and stuff. And I would always see the guy who had been friends with my husband. I would see him all the time. He also was cool with my neighbor, because everybody was alcoholics. My neighbor was a big raging alcoholic, so they would always be outside drinking and stuff. So I would always see him. Whenever we would see each other, we would engage in quick conversation. I was always curt with him, like friendly but curt, quick, short, hey, what up, keep moving. And but he would always be over by my place drinking with my neighbor and stuff, like not by my place but like next door or whatever. So one day I was walking. I decided to go for me a little walk, and I'm walking, and I see this guy pull up. And it's the guy that had been friends with my ex-husband and friends with my neighbor and all my family, all that other bullshit. And he's like, hey, what up? Which was not unusual, because a lot of times, now that I'm thinking about it, he probably was stalking me on the low, because I would see him a lot whenever I be out walking, out and about, working out and shit. I just really didn't pay this nigga no mind. So he's like, yeah, what up? What you about to do? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh shit, nothing, I'm just going for a walk or whatever. And I think I said I was headed to the liquor store to go get me, like back in them days, I used to like the malt liquor. So, I used to like Old English and shit like that. So I was like, yeah, I'm about to go to the store and get a deuce. So he's like, okay, bet, cool. Let me walk with you or whatever. Is that cool? And I'm like, okay, whatever. So we go to the liquor store because everything was real close around the area. So we go to the liquor store, you know what I'm saying? I get me my deuce. He get him, whatever the fuck he got. And we just walk in. So by this time, we walking, talking, sipping, just shooting the shit, regular. And I didn't think anything about this guy because he also had him an old lady. I'm not going to say girl, I'm going to say old lady because this bitch was older than him and she looked pretty raggedy. So he had him an old lady. So I didn't think anything of it, of him chilling with me or whatever. I wasn't thinking like, oh, he trying to, push up or anything like that. Because prior to this, he had never given those vibes or whatever. But I see that initial feeling where I was like, I don't like him. I should have stuck with that. So anywho, I did not because I was young and dumb. And we were just walking. And so we were walking. And before you got back to where I lived, there was a park. There. So we decided to walk around the park because I was not done with my cardio yet because I always like to work out. So we walking around the park. Just walking, just shooting the shit. I don't remember what we were talking about, but we just walking, chilling. No big deal, easy day. I'm like, oh, this dude might actually be all right. You know what I'm saying? He might be cool because we having decent conversation. And then all of a sudden, I was like, ooh, I felt like I had to pee. And right where we were in the park, I'll never forget. It's like we had walked over to it was like a little. Not a parking lot, but it was like an open area similar to a parking lot that was lined with trees. Okay, so I had to pee really quick. So I was like, oh my gosh, I have to pee real quick. I'm going to go into the bushes and go pee. He was like, okay, cool. And not thinking about it, I put my beer can down, or a beer can, I think it was a can, or whatever. I put my beer down. Yeah, it was a can. So it wasn't a deuce. It's probably like a 16 ounce. So I put my can down and I start traipsing off into the woods to go pop a squat real quick because that's what I used to do as a kid in New York when we'd be on the highway. You feel me? And I was like, oh shit. Before I got fully into the woods to go pee, I was like, oh shit. I left my can out there with this dude. That's not right. So I was like, abort mission, and I started traipsing back to where I had left the can. When I was going back, I noticed that he was standing by my can and he walked, like you were saying, he turned real quick and started walking, like pretending like he had been walking or whatever. It kind of raised a red flag to me, but my dumb ass, you know what I'm saying, I didn't think anything of it because he was standing right by my can. Okay, so this part right here, y'all, I can't make this shit up. I picked the can up. He's like, you back quick, whatever. I was like, yeah, I forgot. I didn't tell him like, oh, I forgot not to leave your drinks open around people you really don't know like that. I didn't tell him that. I just picked it up and he looking at me and shit, we talking, whatever. And I go to drink some more, right? And as I'm thinking like, okay, let me hurry up and chug this shit so I don't leave the empty can and then go pee. So I'm chugging it like, ooh, ooh, and it's like, I think I got maybe 2 good chugs, but they were some good chugs now because I used to have chugging competitions with my homegirl with beer, and I used to win all the time, okay? So I was a chugger. Let's just point that out. Okay, so I was like, boop, boop, 2 big chugs, and then all of a sudden, it was just like somebody just slapped the can out my hand. I promise you, I personally feel like that was God, my guardian angels. It was somebody, because I had a good grip on this can because I do not believe in alcohol abuse. I don't do alcohol abuse. That's crap, right? So it was just like somebody just slapped the can out my hand. And I just knew, I was like, oh shit. Because I had already been having my feeling, intuitive nudges and shit that I was blatantly fucking ignoring, by the way. Blatantly ignoring this shit. Blatantly. And I was just like, okay, I'm for a reason. So, y'all, I still remember that shit. How this can, I'm holding it like this. And it was just like... So when it fell, like he was like more upset than I was. Like he was freaking out like, dang, what happened? And he's like, you want to go back to the store? I'll buy you another one and stuff. And I'm like, nah, I'm good. I was just like, I don't remember what I said to him, but I said something along the lines of like, everything happens for a reason or something, how that happened, because it was so crazy how it happened. And so then we continued, continue to walk. And all of a sudden, as we are walking, like 1 minute I'm fine, and the next minute I am talking like I am in the middle of having a severe stroke. Period. Like, seriously, I'm talking, I'm like, yeah. And my vision got blurred. I started feeling like this. And I was trying to talk, but it's like I could not talk. And he's looking at me all concerned. And he's like, you all right? You all right? He was really playing the role. He really was playing the role. He appeared very concerned, right? He's like, you okay? You okay? And I'm just like, no. I'm just like, I got to go home. And I'm trying to say it to the best of my ability because I felt like I had a little bit of time before I don't know what the fuck happened. All I knew was I had to get home. Oh, that's all I knew. All I knew, I started feeling funny. All of a sudden, I had to get home. So I started walking towards my house because the park was around the corner from my house. Literally. You walk out the park, go up a little hill, and as you're up this little hill, you turn the corner. My house right there. So he was like, "Okay, I'm gonna walk you because I'm trying to walk," and I'm like, you would think I was really, really like fucked up. Like I was feeling so sick. I just started feeling so sick, so out of it. And I kept trying to speak and it's like I could not speak. And then I had thoughts going on in my head. Like I'm freaking out in my head, but I'm trying to remain calm because I'm like, something is wrong. But I'm trying to speak, but my words are not coming out legible. So I'm trying to get up this hill and he is like holding my arm, like help me up the hill because listen, when I tell you, I was like, he's like holding my arm. So as he is holding my arm, assisting me up the hill, a cop car drives by and notices this young lady here struggling with this guy basically dragging her up the hill. So the cop car stops and is like, is everything okay? And I'm trying to speak and I'm like, no. And he's like, yeah, she doesn't feel good or whatever. So I'm walking her home. She just got sick all of a sudden. She lived right there. The cop is like, you sure? And I'm like, and he's like, yeah, we sure. So the cop drives off and we keep walking and we made it to my place and I had my key and literally he was like, you want me to come inside with you? And I'm like, no, because I was trying to hold it together. Okay. So I put the key in the, I remember putting the key in the lock, turning the lock, and I took like one good step inside. And my eyes are still open. And the next thing I know, it's like I'm standing straight up looking at the wall. And then the next thing I know, I'm flat on the hardwood floor. And I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel shit. All I heard him say behind me was like, oh shit. And then everything went black. That's all I remember. I hit that floor so fucking hard. I didn't feel shit. But these were hardwood floors, okay? Like, wow, it was a bounce. Because the thing I know, I'm like, floor. Darkness. Okay. So then I recall, okay. So then, this part's a little hard for me, guys. So then I recall myself. It was like I guess I started coming to because I was hearing voices. I was hearing his voice and like I could feel him touching me. I could feel his hands all over me. I could feel what he was doing to me, but it was like I could not open my eyes. I could not move my body, but I could hear him and I could feel him. So, and I hear him talking to me. I feel his hands all over me, rubbing me, touching me and shit. And all he's saying is how he's been waiting to have sex with me. And I'm so beautiful. I'm so sexy, this and that. And so I'm trying to fight my consciousness because I felt his hands and I felt him down there. I felt him touching me. So like I'm trying to like wake up and I guess I made a noise or something because he hit me. I remember that. I remember he hit me and then I blacked out again. And then the next thing I remember is waking up in my bed and all the lights are off. All the lights are off in my place. And I'm in the bed covered up. And I'm just like, this is weird because I'm like, how the fuck did I get in my bed? Like, what the fuck happened? And I sit up and I'm naked from the waist down. Like, no drawers, no pants. And now I had on pants and drawers and everything. I'm butt naked from the waist down. And I'm just like, what the hell? But I still don't know what happened. So I get up and I walk out and into the living room, and I see, my pants, my boots and stuff, like on the floor by the couch and everything. And I'm like, what the hell? That's not like me. So I go to the bathroom and I go sit on the toilet to pee, and I smell like sex. I smell like sex, and I started freaking the fuck out. I'm like, what the fuck happened? Whew. I'm like, what happened to me? What happened? Because I don't remember anything. Right? So then, whew, this is hard, y'all. This is hard. This one is hard, guys. This one's hard. So then I go out the bathroom, and I go back in my room, and I turn on the light, and this guy wrote an apology letter on a piece of paper towel and left it on my dresser. And I'll never forget, it said, "I'm sorry, I just couldn't help myself." And then he signed his name on a piece of paper towel and left it on my dresser. And so I'm just like looking at this like, this is not real. This is not real. This is not real. And then I look up in the mirror. And all the skin right here is gone to the white meat. All the skin right here on top of my lip right here is gone to the white meat. Apparently, as I said, when I felt him touching me and stuff, I guess I started to wake up, and he punched me in my face. And he used to wear a really big ring. I'll never forget. It was like sapphires and gold and something else, because he was like flashy dude. It was a really big ring. It was bigger than this. It was a men's ring, like big. And it was in the shape of the ring. Like, it was like a circle. White meat right here. So he punched me hard as fuck. He punched me hard enough to take the skin off my upper lip. Okay? To the white meat. When I say white meat, okay? And I just lost it. I fucking lost it. Now, this time I called 911. I did. I did. Even though, they had failed me before, I was like, okay, this is not Valdosta. This is Lithonia. This is listen, the ambulance had to come get me. And it just so happened that my cousin, the cousin from the first rape that had busted in and caught the guy raping me, he used to live close by me. And he ended up stopping by, and he was there when the ambulance came and got me. So he saw me, and, they took me to the hospital, rape kit, gave me whatever the fuck they gave me to make sure I don't end up catching anything from him, treated my face and stuff. And then, the cops also too, I don't remember when I spoke to them. I don't remember if it was like before the ambulance came or after. I don't remember. But what I do remember is that the police told me that there was not much that they could do for me. And the officer also told me to see if I could lure him back to my house and then call the police, and they would come and arrest him. Yeah, y'all heard me correctly. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes, the fuck they did. Yes, the fuck they did. That's what they... Listen, if I'm lying, I'm flying, nigga. And I'm right the fuck here in this chair. That's what they told me. They said for me to attempt to lure him back. Oh, they also said that they knew who he was because he was a known drug dealer. Okay? They said they knew who he was. And they said they don't know where he lives or anything, but if I lure him back into my home, then they will then call him. Then call them and they'll come get this motherfucker. What kind of shit is that? Huh, police? What kind of shit is that? Needless to say, this motherfucker went into hiding because, as I told you, he knew my brother, my cousins, like he knew the males in my family, so he knew he was gonna get fucked up. So he went into hiding. I did not see this guy for about a good year or two. Until now, during this year or two, I can't even tell you what I did. I was in shock for a long time. It took a long time for my face to heal. It took a long time for that to heal. It did. You know, I really went through it. I really, mind you, I told you I was recovering from a nervous breakdown. So that shit kind of, you know what I'm saying, set me back a little bit, kind of fucked me up a bit mentally. But what I did was I took another hiatus from sex for a little bit. And I just, you know, I went to therapy for that one because I was fucked up, y'all. I went to go see a psychiatrist. And when I went to go and see the psychiatrist, I received zero help. As a matter of fact, she ended up telling me her problems. She told me about her issues. She told me about her brother's problems. I helped her find solutions for the goddamn problem. I was her fucking psychiatrist. So I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm going to just go ahead and figure out myself what I can do. So I did what I always do. You know, I threw it in that back room. And so emotionally, I kind of kept it in. But physically and stuff, I moved on. I took a little hiatus, a little break to get myself back together and stuff because, you know, he had did some little damage down there too because, you know, when you're having sex and you're not awake, you're not or willing, you know, it's going to be dry and stuff. So I had me, you know, some tears and some rips and stuff. So I took some time to heal. Took a little hiatus. I took a little hiatus to myself or whatever. And was still an alcoholic. But you know, that yeah, that's what happened. That's what happened, y'all. Shit. Fuck it. that's what happened. And I moved on though. I did. I just forgot about it. I just pushed it. I acted like it never happened. I did. Because I didn't know what else to do. It was like either go crazy or move on. I had to rebuild my life because I had my daughter. I had too much shit that I was trying to do to let that hold me back. So I just had to shrug that shit off like the real G that I am and keep it moving. And then it's so funny that I ended up seeing this guy maybe about a year or two later. As I said, he was hiding for like about a good year and a half, 2 years. Because I definitely had my homeboy driving around because he was a well-known drug dealer as well. So he was, you know, looking for this nigga, couldn't find him. So the same homeboy, I had a homeboy who was also, he knew my family as well, and we were cool. And we would hang out sometimes. So one night he was like, hey, let's go to the pool hall, go play some pool or whatever, because I was kind of antisocial too. Like I'm still like that. Like I'm friendly for a little bit and then I go back to my shell, friendly for a little bit, go back into my shell. So he was like, hey, you want to get out and stuff? We went to this pool hall and we're playing pool, and he knew what had happened to me because he was friends with my cousin, and my cousin talked a lot. And we're playing pool, and I look up, and in the corner, I see the guy that raped me with his old lady, because both of them looked like hot shit though. Like, I'm not even hating or just saying this because he violated. Compared to how he looked when he assaulted me, when he had assaulted me, he was a big dope boy, doing well. I'm saying, always looking fresh, jeweled out, everything. When I saw him that day, he looked like a homeless bum. He looked like a homeless bum. He looked dirty. He looked dingy. He looked raggedy. He looked like life had been beating his ass. I saw all his fucking struggles all over him from head to toe. He looked so fucked up, I almost didn't recognize him. But let me tell you something. Once I did realize it was him, me and my pool stick went right the fuck over there. And the pussy ass nigga that I was with was like, no, oh my God, Keith, no, man, chill. And this bitch ass nigga ran out the motherfucking pool hall. He was like, yeah, let's leave. I was like, nah, fuck that. This nigga left me. Well, he didn't leave me. He just went in the car thinking that I was going to follow behind him like a punk bitch and be like, yeah, let's go. No, I stayed and I went over to the guy. And when I started walking over to him, his girlfriend started trying to pipe up, but he looked at me like he knew why I was coming over there. He just stood there, and his girlfriend started trying to come at me because, of course, I was being very niggerish. I was like, motherfucker. And so she tried to pipe up, and I was like, bitch. I said some loving opposite things to her, and I was about to beat her ass. She was finna get these hands, but he actually grabbed her and pushed her out the way and was like, no, go. And he told her to go, like the pool hall, there was like another room over there. He like literally pushed her like, go. I guess he didn't want her to hear what was going on. And I was just so mad. And somebody grabbed a stick from me, not him, but somebody took that shit, right? But I was just so mad. I'm just shaking, just shaking. And this motherfucker just bust out crying. He just started crying. He was like, I'm sorry. He was like, I apologize. He was like, I'm so sorry. And he just started, I felt like I was the priest and we was at confessional because all of a sudden he was like, listen, he was like, I know I'm wrong. He was like, I'm so sorry. He was like, ever since I did that to you, he was like, you were a good person. I ain't had no reason to do that. He was like, ever since I did that to you, my life been fucked up. He was like, I lost everything, this and that. He was like, I don't got nothing. He was like, my life has been fucked up. And he was like, I know it's because what I did to you. He was like, I know I was wrong. He was like, I apologize. He was like, my girl don't know none of this shit happened. He was like, I've been suffering since. He went on and on and on and on and on. And he was like, I have to apologize to you. He was like, I was scared to come by your house. He was like, I'm tired of hiding. I can't go nowhere because your peoples is looking for me everywhere I go. So there goes business. But, you know, like literally he looked like hot shit. And he was just like, he was like, please, I'll do whatever. He's like, whatever you want to do. He's like, if you want to call your peoples to come beat my ass or whatever, he was like, that's fine, just please don't kill me. He was like, but I'm sorry. He was like, I have to apologize to you. He was like, I don't know, I think this is karma or something, you know. And I stopped and I listened to him, and I said, what would Jesus do? Because that's what I would always think and ask myself before I make, even now, before I make any decision. You know, vengeance is not mine. Vengeance is not mine. My friend Karma can do it better. The police didn't do me no justice. Me killing him would get me locked up, and then I wouldn't be able to live my life, be there for my child. Me sending my family members to do that to him would do the same for them. They would have no future, right? Was it worth it? So I had to be the bigger person, and I forgave him. I did. I told him, I said, I never want to see you again around here. But I forgave him. I forgave him because what would Jesus do? And in the end, I survived. And I don't know. I know everybody's not able to do these things. Everybody's not as forgiving as me. Everybody doesn't have a heart like mine. Now, just because I forgive you don't mean I'm going to fuck with you. But as I said before, like I would always think, because I was a major sinner back in the day, major sinner, major sinner. You know, if I want to be forgiven, how can I ask God to forgive me if I can't forgive others? At the end of the day, you know, I was raised, no sin weighs more than the other. Whether it's rape, whether it's murder, whether it's theft, adultery. So I forgave him. I forgave him. I did. And after I forgave him, he hot-tailed it out there with his bum-ass girl. I threatened her also, too. When she came back, I did. I threatened her. Not lightly, either. It was a very heavy threat. And they hauled ass and left. And I never saw them again. And that is what happened with that story. Very emotional. Very emotional. But that's what happened, guys. And I don't have anything else much to say about that. So that being said, go ahead and check out my website, www.empressoracle333.com, for all of your spiritual crystal jewelry, incense, bath scrubs, and oils in order to enhance your love attraction and to call in abundance and prosperity to you. So with that being said, you guys enjoy your day, and I will come back again tomorrow. I love you.